What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Cloud Slayer channel. Hope you guys are doing well. Today we got a Sunday ramble, a little bit different, but I'm not going to post tomorrow for a ramble, but I skipped out Monday, and it wasn't because I didn't have anything to talk about. I always got a big mouth, right? Especially when it comes to rambles, local gossip about myself or whatever, and just, some of the mental gymnastics that I go through, right? We all go through them. We're all always doubting ourselves, or we have supreme confidence when we're going into a job interview, or we're doing, some weird stuff like that. It's all about mental mindset when you're preparing for something, right? And I didn't want to jinx it or anything. Not that I was thinking it was like a jinx. It's just I don't think I was in a good mindset because to me, I'm just getting over an injury, and I was nervous because I was like, man, I didn't roll in a month, so I wanted to be in my head and prepare and thinking about it and doing things that I could do, So I had to change my sleep schedule because I was like, I will not be able to do it because my sleep schedule before was like freaking staying awake till 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 4 in the morning for sure, because 3 sometimes, I've been getting off of work at 3 in the morning as of late. So it is what it is. But, I had to take off time so I could get used to the shift in time. And then I had to make sure that I was freaking physically prepared coming off that injury. So I ended up going off. I only went to jiu-jitsu one of the days through the week. I could have went more, but like I said, I felt like because I was doing like kettlebell workouts and stuff like that to make sure that I am ready to, move into an aggressive way, because no matter what type of exercise you do, it doesn't prepare you for grappling with the human being, So, because, we all know that's way different than lifting weights, but, it also tests you and makes sure that, those muscles are ready to try to do those things, right? And by the time class came by, I got, we did a bunch of work on a technique that involved being around that area, right? So I was reassured. So I was glad. I was like, oh yes, it's not hurting, right? And not like it was, especially like even just laying on my back, it would hurt, right? But it wasn't hurting there, so it just like reassured me. It was like a weight was lifted off for myself, right? And so it made me like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, because I was gonna cancel and stuff like that, but I didn't. So I ended up going. Would have went down to the cities regardless, because might as well just take the family out. I already paid for a room, so I might as well take them down and see some sights, and in the cold winter, whatever. Go sit in a hot tub, go swim, stuff like that. Because God knows we all need a little getaway with our families sometimes, right? And stuff like that. And it's not very often that we do it. It ain't like we go every weekend and go out or something, because, it costs a lot of money to go somewhere else, right? And some planning and stuff like that. So it's what it is. Would have figured something out, right? But regardless, I was reassured. I was like, yeah, I could do this. I'm gonna try at least. Freaking got pumped, went down there. I wasn't doubting myself as much, because I felt pretty good on when pressure was being applied there, and me being able to use a little bit more strength, into it, because now it didn't hurt when I tried to go into those motions, at a point when I was injured, I couldn't shrimp and stuff. So I was like, oh my God, I can't shrimp. Because you can't even lay on my back, right? So, but yeah, I was like, freak it. We're going. So we end up going. I didn't cancel out. I already told people I was going to do it. So, last thing I want to do is not do it. And last thing I want to do is to do it injured and have an excuse why I lost. And I don't want to get more hurt, because if you do it hurt, you're probably going to get hurt more, right? The chances are pretty high, and especially if it's from doing that thing, right? Because you got to think about it this way: is that you're gonna at some time get like pressure applied on you, and that stuff's gonna hurt, and it'll hurt bad. Um, so why put yourself through that? Better to heal up and be good to do it, because if you're hurt and you get hurt worse, it might be longer that you're not doing that thing, right? It might take away your mobility in your normal life. So for me, it's not worth it, right? So for me, it was like, I have to work. It's not like I get paid to do jujitsu, right? I like to do jujitsu, and it's very fun, and I love doing that stuff. It's freaking awesome. It's like, to me, just being there is like me coming out of my shell, because a lot of times I always have that excuse of not doing something that I love to do. Like, I love basketball, and I always tell myself, oh, I'm going to do basketball this summer, but all I do is shoot around and do my layups, practice my shots during the summer, all summer long, but I never end up going to any tournaments and participating in that stuff, or competing in games. I just do that, play 21, which is fine. I don't say that I'm going to do anything with it anymore, because, although I love basketball, it's not something I want to be competitive with anymore, right? It's not something that I feel like I have to do to fill some type of void, because it's not. It's just something I love to do, and I've never wanted to be anything like a professional. I just wanted to always have fun, because I always did have fun playing basketball, and I still do, even when I finally get a chance to play with people, right? I'll play with somebody at the playground or somebody from work, and they're like, I'm like, oh, I used to be all right, pretty decent when I played basketball, and they're like, oh yeah, whatever. And then, because they're like, this chunky dude, this big dude, is just talking crap about the old days, and he probably never even did that. And then they get shocked when I'm like, I'm blocking them and stuff like that, and playing pretty good defense. And they're like, oh no, man, we were just joking around. I'm like, well, I'm pretty serious. I like to play, man. Even if if they turn out to be better, that's cool too. I don't care. That ain't never been something that I would still shy away from. I ain't got no excuses when I lose. Guess what? If I'm motivated enough, I'm gonna continue to do that and get better at it. That's how I am, and that's how I've always been. And so, but regardless, I got a little carried away. I end up doing jujitsu. And that's how I feel about jiu-jitsu, even though I don't get to frickin' practice it as much as I want to. It's tough on the body. I have respect for anybody that does it, and anybody that does this, you got to realize that not a lot of people are willing to do that, right? And it's not easy. It's going to be tough for you, tough for them. Not for the ones not doing it, just ones that might hate. Like, if there's any haters, like, oh, that stuff's weird or whatever, whatever. Don't listen to them. They don't know. It's not something that they understand. They think it's boring or something, Yeah. So you just gotta proceed forward and continue to freaking do what you're doing, right? Working hard towards your craft. Yeah. So I got past that mental barrier within myself and my mind, and went down to Minnetonka, and a shout out to opponent was Nick. So it was just a round robin tournament, best of 3, win all 3 rounds, and it was really fun. It was, holy man, it's not like I spent all the time preparing, and in my head, this is how you think it's gonna go, but it never goes that way, man. It was like I forgot everything, and I was just relying on instinct, like, oh man, don't get out of this, he's grabbing for my wrist, blah blah blah, and I'm trying to jump back and forth, and I'm trying to do what I do, and it seems like it's not there, or I'm not doing something correctly, right? And it's like, well, that sucks. It is what it is. So I'll just stick to what I think I could do, right? Because you don't know what your opponent's capable of, right? And the first thing, I tie up with him, so I get him in a clinch, and he hits me with the frickin' hip throw, man. Oh no! Landed right on my side, bam. And then I re-injured my side. I feel it instantly. I was like, God damn it, that hurts. But whatever, we're on the ground, and I'm like discombobulated. I'm trying to catch my breath because I'm ooh. In my mind, I'm like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. What the fuck? You know, and he gets my arm in the Americana with his legs. And I freaking, I'm like, oh shit. And I was able to twist my arm. And then I was like, oh man, what the heck? I got to move though. I got to freaking move. Or else he's big time advantage to take control of my arm in the way he had side control. His side was on my side, on my rib cage, right? Because he just freaking hip tossed me, landed side on side. I got, like I said, I got the videotape. I'll put it on there. I could do play by play, but pretty much I'm reciting it back because I've watched it a bunch of times, and since then, and then yeah, he freaking does that, and I was able to clasp my hands together. And I was trying to move, but he had his arm on me, and I was locked in place, and I was like, dude, I can't squeeze my big-ass head through this armpit, you know what I mean? And he's a strong dude. He's a real strong dude, man. He was able to hip toss me real easily. The way I got an unorthodox style, he has orthodox, so pretty much I was set up perfectly for him already for his sweep, right? Because a lot of times when you're going to do, you want to get somebody off balance, but I wasn't off balance because that's my normal stance. And, you know, that's what he wanted, obviously. So, and then I didn't know that. I don't know that. I don't know what my opponent's capable of, right? I never met this guy. But I found out real quick, right? And, oh man, but I was able to get my arm through. He almost got my arm again. I was able to get my arm low enough so he couldn't get my arm back into that submission, and I was able to squeak out. So I ended up taking up top. I was able to, you know, push him over, essentially. Push him over, roll him over, and, you know, knock him off balance so he isn't able to stay in that position. A lot of wrestling. I want to thank, you know, a lot of people in the gym because, like I said, I learned techniques from people that did it to me, and it was instinct because that's what I've been practicing a lot, right? Against other people. So in like training, I'm doing things that challenge myself too, right? And I want to do things that just in case I'm in a situation that I could possibly figure out, right? And I'm lucky enough that when I'm rolling with, you know, people at the school, and I'm very appreciative that, you know, I learned so much from everybody else, and I hope they learn a little bit from me when they roll with me a little bit too. But if not, you know, I'm going to do my best. I want to improve, and it's not even to compete. This might even be one time I compete. It's not about competing. It's just I wanted to see how competing felt and stuff like that, you know, and against somebody in my age group, my weight class, and you know, I wanted to just see what I could do, win, lose, or draw, like I said, and frickin', you know, do that. And yeah, but see, I keep getting off track. I don't get all emotional or whatever. I'm not trying to. I'm just the whole point is like I'm not trying to downplay anything of this guy because he is really strong. Like I said, and I know, like I said, in my mind, I'm a weak guy. I'm skinny. I'm whatever. But you know, I have to keep reminding myself that I'm big too, and people see me differently than how I see myself. And I have to have faith in myself, and you know, go forward and push it. And it's and that's what everybody teaches me too. Is like you just got to keep pushing. If that's what you want to do, you want to win, you got to keep pushing. You might lose, so what? We can do it again, right? And but yeah, freaking, I got over. I got inside control pretty fast, and I tried for Americana, but this guy, his arms are freaking, like I said, strong. They're strong. Bam, breaks my grip, moves his arm down perfectly. I could have I wasn't thinking about it at the time, but I could have tried to transition to the freaking Kimura, but I didn't remember any of that. And I'm up, like right now, I'm like, I need to do more Kimura work, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's in the past, and this is what happened. And I like Kimura, and I've been having fun doing the Kimura and stuff like that, and working there. And I'm gonna keep working at it, and I want to get better at it. But regardless, like I said, let's move forward. And freaking, he got his arm there, and this guy, he was able to throw me off of that. I got in the mount, and he just like freaking flopped me over, man. I tell you what, this dude was freaking, like I said, he's strong. He's built like a farmer, you know what I mean? And freaking flipped me over. I'm like, holy shit, with just his arms. I'm like, I also need to work on my mount. I need to work on flattening out and staying in that better position. So, but the thing is, I have to get to those positions. So those are things I'm going to have to work at, obviously. And I'm going to, and I want to, and that's something I know, and it's just a matter of doing it and doing that. So, but yeah, freaking awesome, man. He flipped me over. Like, damn, man, this dude has some good technical skills. That arm Kimura was freaking awesome. In my mind, that's how I'm thinking. And I'm like, stop thinking. We got to do this. I got to apply my pressure. Stop thinking about cool things or whatever. And we got to get this done with, right? We only got 5 minutes. These are 5-minute rounds. And I don't care what anybody says. 5 minutes is forever sometimes, especially when you're going all out. But goal dang. I get flipped over. We kind of come head to head. He kind of got my back, but I've been working a lot on turtle guard with people, and shout out to everybody that helped me with my turtle guard. So my turtle guard was pretty tight against him. He didn't have any entry. I'm like, oh shit! And this guy pushed my head down. I'm like, shit! Now I got to grab his leg. I got to push this fucker over. That's what I'm thinking. Or I got to try to get out of here because he'll crush me. I don't know. He might be really good at rear naked chokes. You know what I mean? I know I am, and I know he might too. So you never know. So I have to fight. I got to get moving. So freaking push him over too. Kind of collide. I get out to the side, and freaking he gets his out of that spot, and I see the open, and I was like, oh shit, his back's open. Jump up there, and then I know it might, like, you look at the film, he taps kind of fast, but I remember when my forearm first went on his throat, it was like, I was like, damn, like I'm pushing hard because, you got to like drag it across, or else he can get his chin underneath. So I put my forearm in his throat. And if anybody's tried that and had it in training, you know that's not comfortable. It's not comfortable at all. It may seem like, hey, you might be able to take that, but when you got somebody's arm bone right in your throat, it does not feel good at all, right? So it's like, oh man, this is deep. I hit nothing but neck. I knew that. I didn't hit his chin at all. I was right underneath it. I was like, I'm not going to give this up. Slid my arm into place, fell back because that's what you do, and secured the choke, And I was like, yes, I was so excited. I was like, oh man, let's go. And then frickin' we get off the mats, and I'm like, shake hands, shake his coach or his brother. I think it's his brother because I think there might be his brother who went corner him or whatever. And I went back to Jen, and at this time I'm like, oh man, I'm stoked. But then, and I was like, man, my fucking side hurts from that toss, and oh man, I'm like, oh, and then I could feel it, and I was like, damn it, it's getting tight. And I didn't know if it was as bad as or worse or bad than what happened in training. And I was like, oh no, this can't be happening. Maybe I didn't wait long enough, and I was doubting myself, right? And I'm trying to stay amped so that I can try to forget about it, but it's not going away. So I go, get some water, get a drink. I got to take off the shirt. If you see the film, I do got I put another shirt on because I'm insecure about my body because I'm a little a chicken head. But, whatever. End up taking it off, and, nobody's looking. The only thing is, it's psychological for myself, and that's, and I don't care what other people think. It's about what I think inside. Like, I tell myself that, but in all reality, that's, it's far from the truth. I'm insecure about my own body, right? And like I say, I got plenty of my own battles inside to fight, and it's weird. I know, whatever, but yeah, maybe one day I'll conquer it. So, with that being said, whatever, did that, and I'm like, I'm just pumped, and I'm like, dude, I'm ready for second match, I hope, and I'm like, maybe it's not that bad, maybe we'll see how it feels in this next match, and I'm like, oh, but I'm not as springy, and I'm like, so I'm not, a lot of times when you lose, like, your athleticism and stuff, it could be because it's worse than it is. I'm like, don't think like that, right? We gotta be positive. And I was like, but I cannot, one thing was for sure, I cannot get slammed like that again. So, and I'm like, whatever, I'm going to shoot in for a double. We're going to see how it goes. Hopefully I have enough juice to execute it like I've been trying to practice. I'm not really good at it. I've been trying to do it, and, I've been doing exercises at home to practice the entry for it. It's a matter of me pulling it off by, distracting them with my hands before I shoot in. And, we go in, and yeah, we're hand fighting, and I'm like going, and I did it like a fake one, and I'm like, oh man, I could feel it. I'm like, I can't do it well, but I can't take the slam, so I don't want to accidentally jump guard because that's not allowed, and I don't know what he'll do if I just pull guard. I don't know, and I don't know if I can move that well right now, and I'm not gonna fucking find out. I'll rather give up my back and play turtle guard and see how that feels. So I do a half-assed double leg shoot in, and he stuffs it really easy. And right away, as soon as his pressure's on me, I feel it in my ribs. I'm like, oh, God damn it. And then, he's on top of me. This next match was probably like a minute, 5 seconds. So it was it wasn't the shortest one though, but he's on there. He got my back, and then I was like, oh, there's an opportunity here, and I see his grip was kind of weak, so I try to, like, twist out of it, but, because he was kind of up on top, he was on top of my back, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll grab his arm and try to do some shit. It's some dumb shit, but, like, it was an ego thing where I left my arm there, and he took full advantage of it. Bam, stretched my arm out, arm bar, because I tried to test that out, but that's, he did a perfect job. He did what he was obviously supposed to do. I would have done it to me too, you know what I mean? And it was one of the things that I was like mentally trying, told myself I was going to do, was try to do some weird, sneaky escapes, try to be as safe as I can to win, because I want to win. I don't, this ain't training. That's, I was telling myself all week, and, I was already hurt, and it just wasn't that I was thinking to try that. It was just, I was hurt. I felt the pain. I was, and it just, in my head, it was like, I'm going to do this, and this is how I'm going to do it while I'm hurt like this. And no, I paid for it, for being a big knucklehead. And I'm like, whatever, man. There's nothing you can do when you're hyped and you're hurt, you're hurt. And you're like, God darn it. Freaking my elbow hurts. I got off. I was like, crap. I could barely extend my arm really good, and I was like, whatever, man. I'm going to be honest. I was going to go up there and tell him that I couldn't compete a third match because I was hurt, and I was doubting myself so bad. And I was amped up, and I was jittery. And then I was like, whatever. And I went, sat down, got a swig of water, and I calmed myself down. I was like, took breaths, and calmed down. I'm like, hey, man, you're gonna do this. You're gonna do it anyways. You're not gonna back out. You ain't no bitch. In my head, I'm like, you're gonna fucking do this. You're gonna do this, and no matter what happens, you ain't gonna have no fucking excuse when you lose. Don't show them that you're hurt. Don't show them any of that, because he wouldn't do the same thing for you. So don't do it neither, and don't give up, right? And these are things, just breathing. I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I don't care. I got rid of that doubt in my mind wanting to quit, and I was like, the game plan is shoot a shitty double leg. Hopefully I can get it. If not, as long as I get his leg, I'm gonna pull with all my might. I'm gonna pull with all I got to pull it towards my body, because if I get him on his back, I'm going for Americana, right? I knew it was hard for him to get me out of side control, and I was like, stay out of mount. I'm going to side control. I'm going to go, first thing I'm doing, I'm going for that, because that's a position I always find myself in, especially when I get on top. And, it presents itself to me all the time, and I'm going to know what to do, even if I'm not in the right state of mind, right? So I do that. I shoot in. I pull his leg into my body as hard as I can, as much as I can muster, and I can feel it. I'm like, oh, whatever, I don't care. We're going to do this, right? Pull it in, get on top, freaking on the side, freaking grab his arm, bam, hit it with a Kimura, right? Or not a Kimura, I butchered that one, but, Americana. And, oh, man, it happened so fast, and I'm like, oh, man, I felt bad because I cranked it fast, because as soon as I got it, I was like, ugh. I'm not, I'm going off on a limb, man. I'm hurting, and this is not going on any longer. And he tapped, and I felt relieved, and I was like, oh, man, yes, frickin' A, man. So shout out to him. Nick, dude, he's a competitor. He's awesome. Oh, man. He could have won that easily, too, if it didn't work out in my favor, if I didn't execute when I was given the opportunity to, if I didn't, if I made mistakes, right? I definitely could have easily lost. And I made plenty of mistakes. He made mistakes too. We all make mistakes. We're white belts. It's going to happen. And I hope he continues to do it, man. That hip throw was beautiful, man. Perfectly thrown hip throw. He knew what he was doing with that Americana with his legs in between his thighs. Man, he could have finished me right away in that first match for sure, and would have beat me twice in a row, because, is what it is. Maybe not. Maybe I could have pulled through and not done some weird stuff in the second one, because I would be at the bridge of elimination, right? But that's not how it crumbled. That's not how the cookie crumbled. It crumbled the way that I talk about. And like I said, if anybody wants to see film, I could send, I can post them. And it's not to take away from that. I've been watching them. I watched them over and over again already to see that. And I'm like, I thank Jen so much for frickin', getting the film for me, man. And it's not something I get to see all the time and stuff like that. And, it's awesome to, see that stuff and see how, I freaking, like, some of the hard work pays off. And, it reminds me of the training of where I learned a lot of that stuff, and where I was put in a situation, because I was put in in that same lock before, so I knew that was going to hurt, and I had to get out of there fast, and training, and it's like, whew, and it makes you appreciate, like, your partner, especially, like, for when they learn and they're able to do those moves on you, and it teaches you, like, oh, these are some bad situations, right? And sometimes they'll let you work out of it, and that's freaking even more awesome, We got a older guy. I mentioned that he always gives me pointers, and I'm gonna tell him thank you next time I see him in person. I was gonna message him on the WhatsApp, but I'm like, I want to tell him in person next time I see him, because I truly appreciate it. I was picking his brain about competitions and stuff, and whew, oh man, freaking A, man, I appreciate it so much. And I couldn't. You can't do it alone. You might be able to, but you're never going to be your full potential if you don't grow with other people, if you don't go out and want to learn, and you don't want to do things, right? And you're always going to risk something when you're going to gain that knowledge. But if it's worth it to you, go out and do it. Don't be like I did for many years about basketball, about lying to myself about competing. Like I I left that in the past of competing. And I competed in high school. I wasn't the best, and I had all these mental things I had to clear up. And I found, eventually, freaking a lot of years passed by, and I always wanted to practice jujitsu when I was younger, and I said that too. And I went to open mat once, and freaking did that, and I was gonna do that, the health stuff, and I'm like, whatever, man. I gotta figure this stuff out. And then now, I'm doing my best to freaking hold myself accountable, to show up in class, and freaking learn as much as I can. I don't necessarily want to go any further. I just want to show up and have fun and, do this stuff. This stuff's freaking fun. It's awesome. And even if I don't compete again, I don't, whatever. It was so fun. It was, oh man, dude, I can't even explain it, but it was awesome to not only be a part of like an event like that, to watch and see, young people that are developing, they're like, it seems like they're so far ahead of me, and they're so young. And it's like, man, it's not in like a bad way, but it's like, dude, that's freaking awesome, And it's like, I could be further than where I'm at if I would have just, found a way to do that thing, And I'm not saying I have any regrets, obviously. It kind of sounds like it, but I don't. It's not that I have regrets on it. Life turns out the way it's supposed to, right? Maybe jujitsu was not meant to be a part of my life at that time. So, it is what it is. It takes a lot to come to terms with yourself, to realize that there's things to improve on. It takes a lot to admit that to yourself. It's hard for everybody, and I know it was especially hard for myself. And if life has taught me anything, it's like, dude, don't hold on to what ifs. Don't continue to be like, I wish I could do that. It's so easy for them, In all reality, it's hard for them. And, the only difference between you and somebody that's pursuing that stuff is that they're all in, right? They're like, I'm all in. I'm going to do this. And it doesn't matter what anybody says, And I'm going to dedicate all this time to do that, to this thing that I want to do. And that's, it's so awesome. And, I'm not jealous at all, because you realize, like, to me, jiu-jitsu so far has taught me that you realize that it's about the hard work. And then it reminded me that I knew that because of basketball, right? That, there's so much similarities to anything you do in life that you want to do, and to a lot of things that I talk about in the rambles, And like I say, a lot of these rambles are to tell myself to stop being like that, and to pursue it, Stop talking about it and get up and do it, man. Life's too short, man. Just had a cousin pass away recently, He served in the military. He ended up becoming a cop, and rest in peace. He ended up passing away, right? Accident. Yeah, I don't want to say much more. Just shout out my cousin, Nesta White. Nessie, we call her Nessie, because that's, her nickname. And, I wasn't close to him, but, I knew her, and she was, like, always very kind to me when I was a kid, I remember watching Blade. The old Blade movie came out, and we were, like, sitting there. We got it from Blockbuster, and, she was there, and she's a beautiful, very beautiful woman, you know what I mean? And she's always been very strong, and, she did a hell of a job raising her son, awesome individual. I just, circumstantial stuff. I never just knew him, so I didn't post anything about it out of respect, because that's what she asked, and that's her right, and she's my family too, she's a she's a family member of mine, and I love her, even though I don't like a lot of family members. Haven't seen a lot since I was a kid, right? I seen them quite a bit when I was a kid, and sometimes, you think you're closer when you're a kid, because when I was a kid, little attachment issues or stuff like that. But it is what it is. You become an adult, you realize different things and stuff like that. But you still root for your family. You still love your family, and you want the best for them. And but you also don't want to like overstep boundaries, because sometimes you're not that close, I guess, and they live far away, and it sounds bad to say that stuff, and stuff like that, because you should still be there for them when things happen. But you know what I mean? Sometimes it's just, you can only pray, man. And yeah, shout out to that. Young life, man. He was only 25, 25 years young. Just had a kid, and oh man, it'll make me cry, because it's just like, dude, it's a big loss for him and stuff like that. So, but anyways, you got to do your best to continue forward. Like I said, life's too fucking short, man. Do the things that you're looking forward to do, and don't regret it. You're only going to regret it if you wish you did something. So stop wishing, right? You go out there and you do your best. You fail, so what? We all fail. We all fail from time to time. Sometimes you succeed, sometimes you fail. You're going to fail probably way 100 times more than you're going to succeed. But one thing's for sure is that you got to continue forward, right? And do the best you can no matter what, man. It's when you stop fighting, it's when you lose. Sometimes you lose even though you keep fighting. So, but till next time, guys, I hope you guys have a good one. Like I said, any comments, you want to see the videos, I'll put them on here, make a breakdown, and we'll see how accurate I was in my recollection of it, even though it was all jumbled up and stuff like that. And thanks everybody who tunes in and listens to these things. I'm not as charismatic in person because I'm a very awkward person. It's hard for me to let people in, right? So it's not that I'm trying to be rude. That's like I tell myself that I haven't been a shut-in for years, but I have, and it's making me very awkward compared. And I try my best to make jokes or stuff like that, but I'm like, oh no, I made that more awkward. So, but I'm trying not to. I'm trying to be cool. And I'm not cool. I'm just a fucking weirdo. As it turns out. All these years, they've been laughing at my face, not my jokes. But I'm just kidding. But anyways, yeah, till next time. Thank you, guys. Thanks for all the supporters, all the lovers. Lovers. Matt's my lover. No, I'm just kidding. Not lovers. Yeah, all my love that was there recording for me. My son's love. Yeah, being there, and everybody that wished me luck and, show support, all the people that train with and got me ready, helping me learn things. I wish to continue to learn more things, and I'm going to, right? And I hope I can teach them some things too that, during some type of roles, because sometimes, you inadvertently teach people through just your interaction with them while you're rolling and stuff. So, but anyways, I'm sorry. I'm always long ending. Have a good one, guys. Peace.